Chapter 5, Who is Jesus Christ? Everything about salvation depends on one question: who is Jesus Christ? Many people believe Jesus was a good man. Others say he was a prophet, a teacher, or a religious leader. But the Bible says he is far more than that. Jesus is the Son of God. He existed before he was born in Bethlehem. He did not begin his existence when Mary gave birth to him. He is the eternal Word who became flesh and dwelt among us. Unlike every other human being, Jesus never sinned. He never lied. He never disobeyed his Father. He never had an evil thought. He never committed a wrong action. He lived a perfect life. Hebrews 4 verse 15 says that he was tempted in all points like we are, yet without sin. This is important because a sinner cannot pay for the sins of another sinner. Only a perfect sacrifice could satisfy God's justice. Jesus was the only person who ever lived a completely sinless life. Because he was sinless, he was qualified to become our substitute. As we continue our search for the answer to the question, "What must I do to be saved?" we eventually arrive at the most important person in the entire story. Everything depends on who Jesus Christ is. If we misunderstand him, we will misunderstand salvation itself. Throughout history, people have said many things about Jesus. Some have called him a good man. Others have called him a prophet, a teacher, or a religious leader. There is no doubt that his life changed the course of human history. Even those who do not follow him often admire his teachings. Yet the Bible presents Jesus as far more than a wise teacher or a remarkable man. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem, he was not beginning his existence. He was entering the world he had created. Long before the shepherds watched their flocks in the fields outside Bethlehem, long before the nation of Israel existed, and long before the first pages of human history were written, Jesus already was. The Gospel of John opens with the words, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." A few verses later, John tells us that, "The Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us." The child born in Bethlehem was none other than God himself coming into the world in human form. This is what makes Jesus unlike any other person who has ever lived. Every human being enters the world carrying the same problem. We are all descendants of Adam, and we all share the condition that the Bible calls sin. No matter how good a person may appear on the outside, there are failures, weaknesses, and sins hidden beneath the surface. The Apostle Paul summed it up when he wrote, "For all have sinned, and come short of the glory of God." But when we come to Jesus, we find someone completely different. As he walked the roads of Galilee and Judea, he experienced the same world that we experience. He knew what it was to be hungry. He knew what it was to be tired. He knew what it was to be rejected, misunderstood, and opposed. He faced temptation just as every human being does. Yet there was one crucial difference. He never sinned. Not once. He never spoke a dishonest word. He never acted out of selfish ambition. He never harbored hatred in his heart. He never disobeyed his Father. Every thought, every word, and every action was perfectly pure. The writer of Hebrews tells us that Jesus was tempted in all points like as we are, yet without sin. That simple statement sets him apart from every other person in history. Kings have failed. Prophets have failed. Priests have failed. Religious leaders have failed. Ordinary men and women have failed. But Jesus never did. This truth is not merely an interesting fact about his life. It lies at the very heart of God's plan of salvation. If Jesus had been a sinner like the rest of us, he could never have saved anyone. A man drowning in the ocean cannot rescue another drowning man if he cannot save himself. In the same way, a sinner cannot remove the guilt of another sinner while carrying his own guilt before God. For mankind to be saved, a perfect substitute was needed. Someone had to stand in the place of guilty sinners. Someone had to satisfy the righteous demands of God's justice. Someone had to pay a debt that he did not owe because the debt belonged to others. Only Jesus could do that. Because he was without sin, he was qualified to become our substitute. Because he was perfectly righteous, he could do what no other person could ever accomplish. Everything that follows in the story of salvation rests upon this truth. Jesus was not merely a good man who taught people how to live. He was the sinless Son of God who came into the world for a purpose. That purpose would lead him to a cross. And it is there that the story of salvation reaches its turning point.